Hi, this video is for the paper one, question one of the 2020 Leaving Cert Pass level, ordinary level. Okay, so if you want to copy these notes, just email me at shanetroy@gmail.com. And if you want to pause the video after we have a look at the next question, or the first part of the question. So the questions in the Leaving Cert are all worth 25 marks. This particular part here is worth 10. Okay, so it's always worth considering that you're trying to at least get what we call the low partial. Okay, or we used to call the attempt marks. Sometimes that can be very easy, okay, sometimes not so, but at least you can get off the ground. So hopefully you've paused the video and had a go at this yourself, okay, and then we'll read through it. So this guy works as part of a sales team, whatever. He earns a basic rate of $12.60 per hour. So you know what? Let's get that on the page. Okay, $12.60 per hour. Part of that is making sense out of my head. In addition to his hourly pay, he earns a commission of 22%. So some sort of commission. Spell that right, two M's, two S's, and that's 22%. So again, I won't get marks for that, but I'm getting on my page, I'm making sense of it. And that's for whatever's greater than for more than 200 euros a week. So if he earns less than 200 euros in commission, he doesn't earn the 20%. Okay. Right, so I think you understand what's going on here. Now hopefully you do too. But again, if you need to read this multiple times, that's cool. The times I make mistakes is when I don't read it, which I might be doing here. During a particular week, John works 45 hours at the basic rate, okay, and makes sales amounting to 350. Find John's gross pay. So we're not worried about tax as such here, okay. So we know, right? Well, if he earns 12.60 per hour, okay, and he works 45 hours, well, that's 12.60 by 45. Whatever that is going to be is his basic pay. Now, if he makes sales amounting to 350, so this 200 comes into play here. So if I have the 350 take away the 200, okay, so he doesn't make any commission on the first 200, but the difference he does. The difference is 150. So he's going to make 150 euro. He's going to get 22% of that as a salary. Okay. Now, calculation time. Once I have this set up, now let's try to bring this across. I should have had it ready, but that's a calculator. Apologies, should be more organized. So 12.6 times 45. That's giving me an answer of 567. Okay, so let's record that, 567. And then we've done that calculation there. It was easy enough to do by hand. Now, the 150, the 22% is the same thing as, so it's 150 times, now I could go 22 and then the second function and the percent button down here on my calculator, okay, get me my answer, 33. I could have done, well, 22% is the same thing as 22 over 100, okay, same answer. Or I could have approached that a faster way, okay, and went, well, 22 over 100 is the same thing as 0.22, okay, same answer. So whatever way you do it, there's nothing wrong, okay, it's just, in a sense, we use percentages, it's faster when you realize that exactly how they work. So that's why I'm just detailing different ways. Anyway, that was 33. Now, so he gets 567 plus the 33. Again, this calculator job, I think that's 600. 600 and the currency is euro. Okay, and job done. So the answer is there on the next page. Okay, so hopefully that makes sense. And that's it. Now, that was worth 10 marks. So again, the different stages, you probably would have got the low partial for just this. Okay, or just that, realizing there's commission. Okay, if you got onto this low partial and this second statement is probably the high partial, then join them together, you got the full marks. Okay, so when I grade the Leaving Cert, we're just following the scheme. Okay, so if you can kind of predict, and in a sense separate your answer out into what you think are distinct sums, you just extra guarantee the marks, make it easy on the grader. Okay. Now the next thing here says during the following week, John worked 51 hours. This included 3 hours on Sunday. Okay. If John works on Sunday, he receives 1.5 times the basic rate. Okay. So let's put that down on the page for myself. Sunday, He earns 1.5 times the basic. Now, if you remember, basic pay was, no, what was it? 1260. Okay, times 1260. Now, we could work it out now. Okay, even if I didn't know what else I was doing, if I was to put in there 12.6 times the 1.5, just make sure I don't make a mistake putting it in, and I got 18.9. Okay, so this guy gets 18 euros 90 cents if he works 1 hour on a Sunday. Okay, now we know he works 3 hours. Okay, so look, I could do that. I'm not even sure if that's needed, but I'm pretty sure it's needed. But let's just do it 56.7. So even without really knowing what was going on, I've definitely got the low partial. Just depends on the scheme. I may be at mid partial. Okay, the 3. And I've even got that. I haven't finished the question even. Okay, so his gross pay for that week was 713.20. Find the amount of sales that he makes. Okay, now this did trick me when I was doing it myself. Remember, they said earlier he doesn't make any amount on the first 200 euro. Okay, so let's see. If he works 51 hours, we know that 51, okay, times. Actually, I'm almost wrong there. Okay, it's not 51. It's so 51 take away 3 be 48. Okay, so it's 48 hours at basic at 12.6. I can do that as a separate sum plus, okay, the 3 hours at 1260. Okay, so we know that's 18.9. Okay, or so 3 times 18.9. I actually did that over here. Okay, but look, we're doing it again. And that equals his hourly pay. Okay, so that's, you can program that into the calculator. You can write down statements like that if you want. Absolutely no problem. Make them look like it. Put them each calculation into its own bracket, and then the calculator will understand what you're doing. Okay, so that's my first calculation. Add that to my second calculation, which is 3 by 18.9. Now we know that's 57 something, but whatever. Now that gives me 661.5. Okay, so let's record that. Okay, so that's what he earns from basic pay. But we know that your man got 713. Okay, so I could take them away. 713.20. Take away your 661.5. Okay, now that's going to be, let's just do it. So if I take away, so I have the number there. If I take away the 713, now it'll give me a negative answer, but I can ignore the negative. The number we're looking for there is 51.7. Okay. So he earned 51.7. Okay. Now that equates to, so some number times 22%, okay, equals 51.7. Now my work's getting a bit messy, but whatever. Now that's the same thing as this X we're looking for. You can bring the 22% across, okay, it'll move as one thing, and you're basically dividing the 51.7 by the 22%. Okay, so it's 51.7, let's put it in as positive. 51.7, I'm dividing that by 22%, which is assuming it's 0.22, but whatever. And that gives me 235. Okay. So he paid, or he earned commission on 235 euros worth of sales. Now, this is where I declared my answer when I did myself before I had the market scheme. Not thinking this extra 200. He didn't earn any tax on. So he made 235 in sales. That's where he earned the 51 euro 7. Okay. But he also had to sell 200 to get to that point. So the 235 plus 200 gives me a 435, and that's my final answer. Okay. So deceptively hard. Okay. So again, it's broken down here. It's your basic pay. That's your hourly rate, hourly pay. So these two make up his money from the hourly rate. But he earned a difference. Okay. So the difference between those two was the money he earned from commission. We want to work out, well, look, that's what he earned from commission, but how much did he sell to get that commission? That was this calculation. And then you finally got the answer 235. And then just not to forget that he had to earn 200 before he even qualified for commission. So that 200 is built in. And to be honest, if I had done the exam, I would have missed that. Okay. An awful lot of words. But you can see the mathematical scheme there is only 5 marks. This would have been, I'm assuming, perceived to be very, very hard. Okay. And look, it could be just tricky. There's a lot of words. Now, the next one here is worth 10 marks again. But again, the whole question is worth 25. And it says John pays tax at the standard rate of 20. Again, that's a standard thing. And the higher rate of 40, the dreaded 40%. And this is the same as for everybody. So if you earn lots of money, you pay tax at a higher rate. He gets a tax credit every week, 26 euros. So whatever tax he owes, okay, he can take 26 off that, and it's like he doesn't have to pay that amount. And then his standard rate cutoff is 678. And that just means that above that point, he pays at 40, but up to that point, he pays at 20. Okay, so the first calculation I can do there without even thinking is what's 678 times 20%? Okay, that'll give me an answer. Okay, now we know he earns more than 678. So I can do that calculation here, maybe. 713.20, take away the 678, and that gives me an answer. Now, whatever that is what he pays tax at the 40%. Okay, so I don't know what the answer is, but at 40%, whatever it is at 40%. And these two figures here will be his tax. So we have a few calculations to do, but thankfully we have our trusty friend, the calculator, okay, to help us out here. And 678 times 0.2, which is 20%, just quicker. And that gives me 135.6. Okay. Now it's worth always showing the calculation, even though you might know what you're doing. Okay. Now we're looking at the difference. What does he pay in terms of 40%? So the 713.20 €, take away the 678. The difference is what the 40% is being applied to. So it's 25.2. So it's 25.2. So that was the answer from here is being used for here. And that's by 40%. Okay, so now it's a calculation. Multiply by 0.4. That gives me 14 euros and 8 cents. So his total tax, now you can add these. I shouldn't make the mistake I do this, but I'm going to. It is late at night. Okay, so I could be wrong there. I should do the calculator to double check it. So that's how much tax he owes. Okay, now he's given 26 euro off that. That's his tax credit. Okay, so that can be around. So 6 for 9 is 3. Is that 2? So he actually owes 123 euro 68 cents in tax. I'm missing something here. Now I thought it was done, but then I saw this last line, and this is where I should read my question more carefully. And this is a flaw of mine. We're looking for his net income, not his net tax. Okay, so that was his net tax. So the net income is the 713.2. Take away 123.68. Now I have this answer on the next page, but whatever that is your answer. Okay, so this is done out prettier. We looked here, the first calculation, like how much of his income is taxed at the higher rate. That's done here. We then went, right, how much tax does he actually owe? So on the first 678 at 20, he owes that. The rest at 40, he owes that. Okay, so that was his total tax. Okay, and the sum of that is there. Then we want to say, look, what he has his tax credit, so that gets taken away from his gross tax. That's his net tax. But the question didn't ask for that, okay, which you kind of feel like you've done enough work to deserve the marks. But they actually asked for the net income. So his total income, take away his net income tax, gives his net income. And that's it. Now, I hope that's the same as my answer to the last page. I didn't find it out. Look, it looks like it would be. Okay. And that's it. Okay. So that's question 1. Okay. So see you guys in question 2. Thank you.